Welcome to Beaver, Oklahoma. We are in the county seat of Beaver County, Oklahoma. This is in the Panhandle, aka No Man's Land, and I'm sitting here on Main Street. We're going to learn a lot about this very historic place. This used to be the capital of the entire Panhandle of Oklahoma, and it's got an interesting history. It was certainly much larger than it is now, over 2,000 people back in the about 1960s, but we'll learn about that. We'll learn about how it got its name and all the interesting things that have happened up and down this main street and all around town. Beaver is the county seat of Beaver County, and we are located in the eastern Oklahoma Panhandle. It's pretty much in the center of the county on the south bank of the Beaver River, or also called the North Canadian River here in Beaver County. The name of the town was given because of the presence of many beaver dams on the river. The town was originally named Beaver City before it was eventually shortened just to Beaver. It was also the seat of the 7th county of Oklahoma Territory, as well as the capital of Cimarron Territory, which included all 3 present-day counties of the Panhandle. Beaver began as a halfway stop on the Jones and Plummer Trail, where in 1880 Jim Lane built a house on the south side of the river. This house served as a general store, saloon, hotel, and restaurant. The first post office had been established on the north side of the river in 1883, and in 1884 Lane moved the post office to his store and became the postmaster. Charles Jones and Joe Plummer had carried supplies to General Miles and Sheridan during the Red River War. The 2 merchants had also shipped buffalo hides north, as well as materials for building Fort Elliott at Mobeetie, Texas. This brought much traffic to the area. Lane built a corral and stable adjacent to the store to accommodate freighters and cattle drivers. In the town's early history, the river flooded out of one of the original 2 streets, Main Street, and businesses were built on the other street, Douglas. This is Douglas right here. So Main Street goes east and west, Douglas here goes north and south. Douglas runs south up the hill from the river. This was during the no man's land time. Since the area belonged to no state or nation, a vigilante committee tried to enforce its own justice until 1886, when the area known as no man's land was organized illegally into Cimarron Territory, with Beaver City as its capital. The federal government never recognized the territorial government, but Beaver City remained the seat of business and law enforcement. By 1900, the population surpassed 100. The economy of Beaver City and the surrounding area depended on cattle ranching until 1903, when the Homestead Act brought farmers to the area. This changed the town's population and commerce. One of the first businesses was the Groves Hotel, built in 1885. In 1891, Carter Tracy moved to Beaver and built a general hardware and implement company. The first newspaper was called the Territorial Advocate, established in 1887. The name changed to the Herald Democrat, and the paper continued to inform the county into the 21st century. In 1905, a telephone exchange was established. By 1910, there were 326 people living here. In the early years of the 20th century, 2 banks were established. The Beaver Mead and Inglewood Railroad was built to connect to the Missouri, Kansas, and Texas Railway in Forgan, 7 miles to the north. In the 1930s, during the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl, the surrounding area suffered. However, Beaver actually grew from 920 people in 1920 to over 1,000 in 1930, then to over 1,100 in 1940. At the end of the 20th century, the economy was based on cattle ranching, wheat farming, corporate hog farms, and oil and gas production. The Beaver County Fairgrounds hosts the World Cow Chip Throwing Contest that is held in conjunction with the Cimarron Territory celebration in April every year. County Fair is held here in September. And you can see how that population gradually rose through the years all the way until 1960, where it peaked at over 2,000. Started to go down slightly through the early 2000s and then dropped off quite a bit at the last census, down to 1,280. The history of this area with no man's land has always been fascinating to me. If you watch this channel, you know that by now because I made a lot of videos down here. And this is one of the more interesting places I've been, the city or the town of Beaver. And it's got such a long history in this area. You know, like I mentioned, it was the county seat or the, capital of the entire Panhandle for a time. And it has a lot of historic buildings and just really interesting place. And when you come here and you go through the downtown and you visit different places, and you still have that sense of history here. And but then there's also new buildings. There's certainly still day-to-day activity going on here. I'm here on a holiday, so the businesses in downtown is not very busy, but I'm sure on a weekday it's plenty busy. So you have a little bit of mix of everything. So that makes it interesting for me and a pretty cool place to visit. I'm here at the Beaver Dunes, and it just makes it another cool place to go while you're down here. A lot of ATV type vehicles going out, having fun on the dunes. I've been to the Winoka Dunes, which isn't too far actually from here, and had some fun if you ever saw that video. But this is a great way to end it, and just to show you, even when there isn't a lot of population in an area, there's still lots of interesting things to do. There's lots of history to learn and cool things to check out. So I've really enjoyed visiting Beaver. I'd certainly recommend you do the same.